to go out and show out every single night. This is a season where he can kind of, not necessarily coast, but, play the, the back end or whatever the case may be when it comes to games each night. So obviously this was a game where he had to step up in the presence of Reeves, who kind of struggled that night. But I love this version of Bron. I think this keeps him fresh when we go into the playoffs. I think this keeps him healthy throughout the season. So I'm not mad at this scenario, but it has been a lot of chatter figuring out, what's it going to look like moving forward, but I think this was a great example.
I mean, he did tell everybody, I'm not quite there yet. I haven't had any time
and
to
we've had no reason, really, besides that one game, which I think was his 5th game of the season, to kind of see a little step slow and a little, and again, even to see this last night, it shows you that he's still more than capable. Any given night, he can have a different role. And I think most nights, like I said, I think he's going to be that facilitator. But the fact that they have that third playmaker that's always going to be a threat. Like when you scout the Lakers, you're still scouting LeBron James to do things like this. So it's not like anything's changed when planning to, play against them. But to see that him go off like this and still have that much fun with all the celebrations and with all the excitement at this age and stature of his career in December in a regular season game, like, it's awesome to see.
Real game.
And it's also, like Lou said earlier, it's also great to see that fire. Like, I do think all the chatter has kind of, sparked that fire within him again. It is something now that he may want to prove to the world, like, I am still LeBron James. I am going to go out on top. So, just to be able
he hears all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to see this late in his career, he's still playing with that amount of fire, that amount of, charisma and all the other things that come with it, I think it's great for the game and it's great to see.
Yeah. That dunk is awesome. Could you do that? Like,
no, it's not when I was 25.
That's kind of fun to watch. Watch that dunk over and over again. Luka was back as well, recording his 49th 30-point triple-double. He's now number 2, behind only Oscar Robertson, by the way, who has 106. So he's got a little ways to go, and I'm wondering, can he catch him?
No.
Get to 106?
You don't think so?
No, listen, he's halfway there now, and how long has it taken him to get here? You know what I mean? Like, 30-point triple-doubles isn't something that happens every day, and it doesn't happen very often. You got a very small group of guys that are even qualified to have this conversation, and it's only about, 3 or 4 of these guys, and LeBron, Westbrook, Jokic, and Oscar Robertson, all of the active guys, he's beating them, and the guy that he's chasing, has over another half for him to get to. So that's a high number to try to get to. I'm curious to know how long it took Oscar Robertson to get there. But if you ask me, do I think he'd catch him with 30-point triple doubles at 49? That's a ton. 106 is a ton. I don't know if he makes it.
No.
But who am I to have this conversation? I don't have one.
So well, whatever.
I'm going to say he does it. I'm going to say he does. I think he's so good offensively. I think he's always going to be the #1 option. His usage rate's always going to be through the roof. He's going to have the ball in his hands. I think he's going to have a lot of opportunity the next 5 to 8 years, barring, him being healthy. I think he does it.
I'm going with you, Chandler. I think so as well. With the way, modern-day basketball is played, at all times there's 4 shooters on the floor with the playmaker. I think that's also why, it's not such a rare thing in today's game to get a triple-double because of the way the offenses are set up. So
even the 30 points.
I was going to ask,
I'm just saying that the 30s.
No, SGA said he had like 30 one night. And they were just talking to his boys, and he said he had a bad game. And I was like, no, because he was 5 points under his average when he had 30 points. Like, it's just different now.
I mean, listen,
it's still cool, but I'm just saying it's
just a different time.
That's my thing, though, scorer's mentality. If I got 30, I'm trying to go get 40. I ain't passing the ball 10 assists worth of times.
But he's got the damn ball in his hands all game long.
Well, this is a starting point guard.
He's gonna have the ball in his hands all game long. But for y'all to ask me, is he going to do this 57 more times with a 30?
By the end of his career?
That's a lot.
Absolutely.
No, we talking not triple doubles.
I get 30-point triple doubles. Yeah, absolutely.
I think he breaks it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dang.
I hope we know each other long enough to see it. All we know.
This show will be in year 12. He'll get it.
Oh, I love that.
Winning awards.
Look at winning awards.
Yeah.
Love it. Also, all of that.
Gotta manifest.
I know, that's what they say. So Philly, we mentioned, had a full lineup minus Kelly Oubre, but that's kind of a big deal in this day and age. And you got to see a little bit out of everybody that you want to see. That being said, I'm wondering now that you've seen them, Lou, all together the way we got to, are they just Is Philly a middle of the pack team? What is the season?
Right now, and I don't really think that's a bad thing.
Okay.
I think they still have room for an improvement, and they still got room to get better. So I don't think it's a bad thing to label them as a middle of the pack team, right? But when it comes to the Sixers, we still, when it comes to Maxey, Paul George, and Embiid, we still haven't seen a run of games where you can say, okay, this trio is real, and they're going to put some real pressure on the Eastern Conference, and they're going to make a title run. Until they put one of those together, they look like a better basketball team than they were last year by leaps and bounds. They look tremendous, and I like how they're built, and they're competing, right? But if you look at the record, and if you look at everything that they've done with all the talent they have, that's a 50-50 team. That's a 500 basketball team, right? So if you're asking me, have I seen anything from the Sixers that jumps out at me to say they're a 1, they're a 2, they're a perennial team in the Eastern Conference that teams are going to have to deal with? We haven't seen that consistency. So for that reason, I still feel like they're a middle of the pack team. But with them being in the middle of the pack, that leaves a lot of room for them to get better and better, and I think they will.
Yeah, and think about, like, they are a middle of the pack team right now, but like Lou said, I think there's room to grow here. When you look at Joel Embiid, I don't think he's going to be that dominant MVP player that he once was, but I think he's going to continue to get healthy and be better than he was last night, especially just the way he moves. And he's averaging 25 minutes a game, 18, 6, and 3. That's not the Joel Embiid that we're accustomed to. Same with Paul George, and same with Jared McCain. He still hasn't got his legs back. Now they struck gold with VJ Edgecombe. Tyrese Maxey is a bad dude. So they have this backcourt now, and Jared McCain, again, I think he's going to get back to where he was last year, where he was running away with Rookie of the Year before his injuries. And it all depends on how good and healthy can Paul George and Joel Embiid be. But I do think there's room to grow here for them to get better.
And you know what?
You're welcome. Sit down and listen up. The path is lit. I must choose my destiny. Without light, the people lose heart. Knowledge illuminates the true path. The elements are all at my disposal.
Here's something that won't wash off.
The strongest light is the one within. The brightest light starts as just a spark.
You're looking a little green.
us who our true friends are. Feel the electricity in the air.
It's smaller than the other one. Black Myth Wukong is one of the strangest games I've ever played. Reasons for that might not be exactly what you think. I spent a little over 40 hours with the game over the past couple of weeks, and now I think it's worth mentioning that I didn't buy the game on release. I sort of watched a couple of reviews and thought to myself that, you know what, I'm not really in the mood for that type of game right now. Didn't really want to get pummeled by a boss over and over again, but maybe one day I will be in that mood. And that day actually crept around about 2 weeks ago when I finally decided that it was time to give the game a shot. Now, I didn't go in exactly blind, as I like to do with most games, mostly because I wanted to see where the game stood critically, only to learn that it sits at an 81 on Metacritic, which by no means is bad at all. In fact, it's pretty damn good, especially for a debut title. I was mostly surprised to see that score for a couple of reasons. The first being that it was a Game of the Year award nominee, and the second being that it was the #1 most played single player game on Steam of all time. Of course, the reason for that being the large Chinese population who accounted for a huge number of those players on Steam. Regardless, I'm not one to let a Metacritic score set my expectations. I like to go in, play a game for myself before distilling my thoughts and writing a review. So this video is going to be everything I have to say about Black Myth Wukong. Now hold up, did you know 99% of you are unsubscribed? Do me a favor, become uncommon and hit that subscribe button. Now, I'm not going to go deep into the story, otherwise the length of this video would be about 5 times as long. Instead, as a short intro, in Black Myth Wukong, you play the role of the Destined One, who is basically a staff-wielding monkey who's on an adventure to reacquire 6 relics. Now, the whole story is based on the Chinese novel titled Journey to the West, where many characters are adapted into video game form, bringing the novel to life. To say there is a lot of lore behind each character you meet, and even every boss you fight, would be a massive understatement. I will say that the story, as someone who was unfamiliar with any of it, was pretty confusing, just due to the sheer amount of characters you meet along the way, with all the subtleties and nuances that really aren't easily picked up on. I did end up having to watch some lore summaries on YouTube regarding the main story after wrapping up my playthrough, but the actual quality of the storytelling, from the hand-drawn animations to the really epic cutscenes, are all very well done. The game really just oozes a unique style that isn't often seen, and one that I took a liking to. With that being said, I really want to start digging through everything else about the game. Along the way, with all the subtleties and nuances that really aren't easily picked up on. I did end up having to watch some lore summaries on YouTube regarding the main story after wrapping up my playthrough, but the actual quality of the storytelling, from the hand-drawn animations to the really epic cutscenes. So, to start, I called Black Myth Wukong a strange game, but I didn't mention why. Well, to begin, there are some things that this game does very well. These can range from various aspects, such as the boss or level designs, and combat, just to name a few things. But there are also things that this game does not do so well, such as its technical performance on PS5 and at times its questionable design decisions. The game really ends up being sort of a tale of two sides, with one side outweighing the other quite heavily in my opinion. See, Chapter 1 was particularly interesting because it sets a certain tone, but not the exact tone that is prevalent for the rest of the game. Chapter 1 felt really focused. It felt like the levels are really carved out, with some side paths to take and a good amount of interesting things to find off the beaten path. In short, it was pretty small in scale in comparison to some of the later chapters. Chapter 2, for example, completely flips this concept on its head, opening up the game in a way that I did not see coming, from NPC side quests to side areas that just go on and on, leading to more and more secrets that would basically be completely missed if you don't take the time to explore. This cadence goes on for the next 3 chapters, with 5 and 6 being more on the shorter side, and also less explorative than 2, 3, and 4. I can't remember the last time I needed to open up a guide as I played my way through an NPC side quest. And what's crazier is the fact that there are entire secret areas hidden behind those quests, with those hidden areas also having a subset of bosses that you would have otherwise never seen. As I was wrapping up some NPC side quests, all I can think of was how on earth would someone know how to take these steps without the use of a guide. And this takes me back to the original Dark Souls days where things were very subtle and most things were mistakenly stumbled on as subsequently completed. I can't explain how much I enjoy this feeling, and it's one that Black Myth Wukong surprisingly brought out and did very well in doing so. What's also interesting is that my opinion of the game would shift here and there. It first started out with, okay, this game is pretty average, I'm not sure what all the hype is about. Then it fully shifted to, wow, okay, I get it, this game is actually really good. My final opinion did fall somewhere towards the latter. For the first entry in what seems like will be a very long and popular series, this game definitely sets the stage and excels in a lot of things that are crucial to this particular genre. I also want to point out that there seems to be a pretty passionate debate over whether or not Black Myth Wukong is considered a Souls-like or not. I think the game earns that distinction due to its hard bosses and what essentially amounts to bonfires where you can offer incense and those NPC side quests, but I think those are really the only
30 seconds until minions spawn.
The strongest light is the one within. The path is lit. I must choose my destiny.
Minions have spawned.
The elements are all at my disposal. Always have a light. Feel that rebirth. Failure is not an option. I'll lead the way to victory. I will be a luminous force in the world. Sit down and listen up. Never give up.
First blood.
Shine! Where there is shadow, I will bring light. Let's fly! Light is but one of many paths.
An enemy has been slain.
Fight the good fight. Odds be damned. Do not fret. I will return soon.
Scattered flames!
frequent shopper. Shouldn't I receive a discount? Brilliance is a beacon. Knowledge illuminates the true path. The brightest light starts as just a spark.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
One of my weapons.
Killing spree. Double kill.
Away with you! Show us a path. Battlefield brilliant! Light
Ally has been slain.
They die.
An ally has been slain.
Hope banishes fear, as sure as the sun. Mistakes only prove you're trying. Does this come in multiple colors?
An enemy has been slain.
Without light, the people lose heart. Don't let my sunny disposition fool you. Beat back the darkness. Fiery. Nice. Got a jet. Love Fanning the flames works for me.
An enemy has been slain.
When can I burn something? Incinerate! I won't miss.
Turret plating will soon fall.
as my temper. My emotions sometimes get the better of me. Sit down and listen up. Be aggressive. No one threatens me. Here comes the heat!
An enemy has been slain.
Fire away! A surefire means of exit. Gold becomes goods. Basic economic alchemy.
An rampage. An enemy has been slain.
Starting a fire is simple. Extinguishing one, not so much. You're up! Love to have fun. You're all just kindling. Kindle. Arson's such an ugly word. Accurate, but ugly. Extinguish a flame and I'll light another.
Shut down.
Do not make me angry.
Killing spree.
Sit down and listen up. Ha! The thing about fire is you can't control it. I can. Away! Too hot to handle?
Team has destroyed a turret. Your team has destroyed a turret.
This one's for you!
Rampage. has been slain.
Flames are beautiful from a distance.
Shut down.
This place isn't gonna burn itself down. Fanning the flames works for me.
Your turret has been destroyed. Unstoppable.
When can I burn something? Fire burns without remorse. Fire flares as quickly as my temper.
Shut down. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Sometimes get the better of me.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Be aggressive. How was I to know flammable and inflammable meant the same thing? No one threatens me.
An enemy has been slain.
Starting a fire is simple. Extinguishing one.
Enemy has been slain.
Got a jet.
Shut down. Enemy double kill. Your team has destroyed a turret. Double kill. Your team has destroyed a turret. Play with fire. Enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
My arc's complete. You're grounded. I have transcended the earthly plane. No cause to my
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Bringing the storm. Rolling like thunder.
Rampage.
I am the eye of the storm. Sailor takes war. By the time you've heard the thunder, it's too late.